We're thrilled to have Atul Wassan back with us on the IPL Dishout. It's been a fabulous week in terms of IPL cricket. Christopher Henry Gayle is back in the IPL and the IPL is better for it, you believe?
Well, remember in the last show I was a bit unkind to him, but this is going to be how it's going to be. I just feel for RCB because they let go of Watson, they let go of Gayle, and he goes there and gets 100. He's going to be hit and miss like this. Either he'll get one big score. If you see that, the amount of dot balls he played, 26, but 11 sixes he makes up for it because he's a big hitter. So it'll come off once in a while, but he won't be consistent as other players who've got a better technique and a sharper eye. You can't have a substitute for age. And he's sluggish on the feet, going forward, backward. He doesn't run, doesn't like to run. So it's not going to be often that he's just going to, stand and deliver. It's going to be hard, and bowlers also know where to bowl. I think the Sunrisers also missed the trick in the book.
Somehow his numbers are truly astonishing though. He played 2 games, a 60 odd and 100. In those 2 games, he's amassed 15 sixes. He's second or third in the orange cap list. So but leading on to another discussion, like you mentioned Shane Watson as well. Another player I'm going to throw into the mix, MS Dhoni. So in the IPL, old is gold. Does that hold true?
Yeah, I think so. The main aim now is to just stand and slog. I wouldn't call it slog. You got to hit it. You got to still play a correct shot. You got to hit through the line. So you got to have a good ball sense. The shot selection is very important. You might have all the shots in the world, but if you choose to play a shot and you can't read the bowler, I mean, these guys are getting all the returns because of the experience also, because they can preempt what the bowler is doing, because they got so much of database, they played so much cricket, so they can see, even the youngsters, there are certain things that give away what a person is going to bowl, and they encash it.
Talking about 2 players, Atul Wassan mentioned Shane Watson and Chris Gayle. The team they left, the Royal Challengers Bangalore, nothing seems to be going right for them right now. It's now 3 losses in 4, and it seems all doom and gloom around that franchise.
Oh, they have not been able to crack it. They've been the bridesmaid once in a while. And you can't just hope that Virat Kohli is going to take them through. They need players, and we are missing KL Rahul named in that. They let go of KL Rahul as well. So probably they must be thinking, but it's just a kind of a fluke also. It's not that they made this bad call. They did the right thing, but it's not working out. But I think it's a long season, so you can't write off any team right now. Virat will get runs. The 92 he scored was brilliant. And last season he missed a lot of matches because of injury. But he needs somebody around him. So AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli together will not click all the time. So once they click, you need the support players.
One concern for Bangalore is still, however, their bowling. It seemed that they addressed that issue, but the death bowling of that entire team, it doesn't look like anyone's going to stand up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And Chahal is struggling a bit, and Umesh bowled that good spell, but after that he got tonked, So they're missing it. They're missing a bowler who is right on the money and right on the top form at this time. If you see, it's the leggies are ruling, but they will come back. And probably the wicket is not also giving a lot of grip to the spinners.
So they recently played the Mumbai Indians, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. It was a great battle between the 2 captains. Mumbai finally won. So it's 1 win in 4 for Mumbai. Do you see this franchise now heading in the right direction?
You can't say that, I mean, they've got the team, they've got the personnel. I think it's still early days for teams to just get the combo right. They'll be trying a lot of, combinations. If they lose few games, they should not lose heart, because you've got to invest in the combination. You can't expect you choose a group of 11 players and start delivering all the time. It will happen to teams, and then suddenly you find you're in a slump. It doesn't mean that you picked the wrong combination. So I think it's just, it's like the first round of a boxing match, you're just sussing each other out. It'll pan out for players, and historically the teams that have done well will eventually be there.
Another thing which is interesting to look at is how this IPL season has progressed. While it's still early doors, the first 10 games, we had 9 teams who were chasing who won. And from the last 7 games, 6 of the teams batting first have won. Any particular reason as to this change in pattern?
Yeah, I think so. And you'll find because it's getting hotter and hotter. So the pitches are getting drier. And chasing will be an issue, where the dew factor is not there, where the heat is there. You'll find that some teams will struggle. People might say that, wicket doesn't change the complexion in 40 overs, but it does. थोड़ा सा फर्क पड़ता है. जहाँ हल्का सा भी grip मिलेगा, I think the bowlers will come back.
Okay, now we're moving on to the top batsmen of the IPL season so far. Virat Kohli, no surprise to see him at the top of the charts. Sanju Samson still there in second place. Shane Watson, Gayle and Rana the other suspects. Have you enjoyed watching the likes of Samson and Rana bat?
Nitish Rana, I've been watching closely because I'm the selector, and I dropped him last year, and he got, and you got to give them a jode because Mumbai invested in him. Let him go. Now he's doing, and his bowling also. He worked for us brilliantly for Delhi. So he got us the crucial breakthrough. He's a very clever bowler. So he's growing as a player. You can see that he's a thinking player, and I think he's batting too low for him to deliver. I think they need to bat him up the order.
And we're going to look at the top bowlers. Still early doors. Mayank Markanday still ruling the roost with 8. There are other players who are catching up, but we suspect these guys might not be around. The likes of Chris Gayle with 8 at the moment, Umesh Yadav. So it's strange to see the two of Bangalore's guys in the top 3 or 4, but these are the guys in the purple cap list. So have you been impressed by any of these bowlers?
Not really. I look at how many runs they have given. How much they have delivered for the team at that point. So I will still go for players who are going for maybe less wickets, but they are getting their 4 overs in. Anybody who's bowling the slog overs will pick up wickets, But in the end, how many runs have you given? That's the main thing. I'll in that list, I think you will never be able to write off Sunil Narine. He is somebody who's again changes action, and brilliant, again with the bat also.
What's astonishing is that, so now we're looking at something you mentioned, how many dot balls. So Radhid Khan is on the top of the list. He was taken for punishment though recently, but he will bounce back. He's a top quality bowler.
I think the wicket which just skids through, there he'll struggle. But his flipper is amazing, and you will find that, he'll be in the top 4-5 bowlers.
Any IPL team is, of course, incomplete without the all-rounders. And who has impressed you the most? Andre Russell, the returning superstar. Right up there, right?
Yeah, I think bowlers who can tongue the ball will always be, right up there. But the thinking has changed. Earlier on, people thought that they need a lot of all-rounders. So if we need 11 all-rounders, we will T20. But it's not. It's a game of specialists also. You need specialist batsmen, specialist bowlers. But some guys who bat 6 or 7 and who can bowl their 2-3 overs will always be. I think Nitish Rana is somebody who will be there. Sunil Narine, these are the all-rounders. They're bowling their overs and tonking the ball. So I think bowlers who can bat will be better all-rounders in this game rather than batsmen who can bowl, because batsmen who can bowl will go for more runs, and you need bowlers who can save runs to win matches.
That's a fascinating point, but there are some all-rounders. For example, Chris Gayle can be considered a great all-rounder in the other formats?
Not really. I don't think so. Chris Gayle has got the batting to be considered all-rounder in other formats. Like it's Hardik Pandya. Suddenly people thought we have got another Kapil Dev. I've seen maybe 5 or 7 or 8 Kapil Devs coming through after Kapil Dev. England is still looking for their botham. So it's a cross you carry on your shoulder. If people start comparing you with a top-class all-rounder, then the pressure is there. An all-rounder is somebody who can win you a match by batting and bowling more often. It's not that once in a while you get runs. So Hardik Pandya is somebody who has to prove right now that you are an all-rounder. He's struggling. Kunal Pandya is also an all-rounder. He's struggling, Unless you bowl, Ravindra Jadeja is not bowling, He's somebody I considered, So he's playing as a batsman, Dhoni is not giving him full quota of overs. I don't know what's happening there. So I think you need confidence in this middle part of IPL by the captain to actually perform as an all-rounder.
Fascinating insight on all-rounders there. We're just moving on to the young players. Now, the Under-19 World Cup, of course, recently concluded. We've not seen too many of those guys get a chance yet. However, Nitish Rana is still young. The others, Mujib Rahman and Mayank Markanday, these are the guys who impressed so far?
Yeah, and Under-19 guys, Mavi has been impressive. He's a young boy, I loved watching him, bowl hard, He's going for runs. He will become good, he will know what to bowl, slower ones, So this is good experience for him. So Under-19 boys will probably just sit on the bench more often. And some players, Markanday has been the find so far. So I think the selector should be watching these players. It's not that you're going to get picked, but these are the guys who will catch the eye, and then what they do in the domestic season will take them forward.
Moving on to our final segment, which is Atul Wassan's picks. He was spot on last time when he mentioned that a top order batsman will go on to score a century, and we saw 2 with Chris Gayle and Shane Watson. Now let's move on to the bowlers. Do you see a 5-wicket haul anytime soon in the IPL?
Yeah, very likely. You'll see more hat-tricks here also. Amit Mishra has taken a few, always, because, the next guy who's going to come, he's not going to block. You just got to hit. So everybody's hitting, so there's more chance of you getting wickets. So I think a bowler picking up 5 wickets in this format is also possible,
And finally, for the teams, who do you see going up in the right direction and who's going
I think Kolkata will always. I think they've got the good team. They've got a very good balance, and I think Dinesh Karthik is leading. The way he's taking control is good. Delhi, I can't put a finger on it. I was trying to think what's going wrong. Somehow in each match the bowling and batting doesn't click together. And they lost by 71 runs, which is like an innings defeat. So that to come out of that scarring on your psyche, to lift the team. And Gautam Gambhir also is kind of a spot in his career where he will not give a lot of confidence because he's also on the way out. So you need somebody who's actually looking at future like Virat Kohli or somebody, Dinesh Karthik with just resurgence in the Indian team, You need that kind of feeling, that using this T20 to take him forward. ऐसा कप्तान चाहिए.
Absolutely great insight for the IPL. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and thank you sir for coming in and sharing your views once again. We'll see you soon. Everybody, thanks for watching.